Welcome to Mommispace, the podcast for moms of all stages. My name is Aubrey Coots, and this podcast was created to give moms a voice to share their experiences and to share that there's not just one way to be a mom. This is a place where you can learn to love the woman inside the mother.
Welcome back to Mommispace. This is Bree for the last time, and I'm with Kaylie Housewright and Aubrey, and we are so excited to talk with Kaylie today more about mental health. You have had a lot of training in this area, and I'm excited to kind of hear your professional side and any personal side of this as well. So welcome to the show again, because you are also a recurring guest. This is very exciting.
Thank you for having me again. I'm stoked, especially the mental health aspect. I'm so excited that you guys are doing a highlight on that. So important.
Yes. Awesome. All right. Well, how about we start off, because I know a lot has changed for you in your own life since we talked last. Why don't you just give us a quick rundown on what life looks like for you right now, and then we'll kind of dive in.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm a hot mess express. I feel like in the best way possible. And I feel like all moms comprehend that, right?
Totally.
So I'm trying to remember the last time we talked, but I graduated with my master's in counseling recently, which I'm super excited about. So I'm an associate licensed professional clinical counselor now.
Wow.
And I've been working at my site for almost 2 years, which is
Get it, girl. That's amazing.
Wow.
Such a freaking blessing. I did it while I was pregnant with my son, and then we moved and I had my son and finished with my son. And recently we found out that we're expecting a baby girl in November.
Yay!
We were stoked about, so beyond excited. I know we kind of talked before, but I was told it'd be very difficult for me to have children. And so this has been a huge blessing. We're giving ourselves some time. We didn't realize it would happen the first try. For it, a Thailand-made baby.
Oh, happy.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Nonprofit work overseas, and I'm actually currently getting certified in perinatal and postpartum disorders. So I'm really stoked.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing. And what a cool resource that you will be too, even for those listening potentially, right? Like in that sense, that's pretty
that would be
amazing.
incredible.
Oh, wow. Okay, so why don't we kind of dive in? Would you share with us a little bit about your mental health background? What kind of drew you to the field that you're in right now? And let's just dive in.
Absolutely. So I was like conflict manager on the field when I was in like elementary school. So, which is not always the case, right? It was something that I always really loved being a part of, was conflict management and giving people a space to come as they are and be met where they're at. And so that's kind of been my theme throughout life. And I've had my personal experiences with sexual assault in the past and my own healing journey. And so through that and mission work, God just really, for me, kind of molded where I was going and just how my mental health journey looked, not only for me personally. And thankfully, I grew up in a home that was very open and very accepting of obtaining any mental health aid that anyone needed. And so along with that and wanting just to have the right education, and that's kind of where I went down this venture. I think a big thing for me was I got to a point where I wanted to sell everything. I wanted to move to Africa because I had done some work there, and just, and I'm doing little quotations, but like be a part, the cure for everything, and bring more mental health aid around the world and all that goodness. And my grandfather, before he passed away, had actually told me, that's beautiful to have that heart posture, but passion only will get you so far. And if you truly want to serve those to your fullest potential, then you cannot deny them of your fullest potential, which would mean education. So right after that, and especially when he passed away, I applied to transfer schools and just went for it, for him, and obviously for those I yearned to, be a part of their healing journey and have the honor to do that. And so now I have my undergrad in psych and communication, master's in counseling, and prayerfully will be getting some more certifications as well moving forward.
Wow, that's incredible. Dang, girl, that's amazing.
I love hearing just Kaylie, how you've like gotten to this place, and even just sharing about your grandfather too. Like
Yeah.
that's super cool, just hearing that background.
Totally.
Thank you. Yeah, lots of family support, which I could not, and I feel like a lot of people, it's the same of just you can't do it alone.
Yeah.
Or you can, it's really hard to do it well alone.
That's a good point.
And so, so because I know that there is just some incredible, strong women who have only really had themselves and who've got it done. But I feel like even those individuals have had, even if it's negative people in their life, encourage them to go on that powerful path.
Yeah.
So that's just been an incredible encouragement to have so many wonderful people that have supported me in this journey, for sure.
That's so cool.
Yeah, that's super cool.
Wow. Okay, so if you're open to going here, I would love for you to share even some of your like own personal journey. And I don't know how much you have there, but are there ways that you tend to your own mental health as a mother? That doesn't mean you actually have to have any problems. That's not fair. You could ask any mother that, right? Like there's always stuff that you're dealing with. Like what does that look like for you? How do you take care of yourself? And I know that you're a big advocate there. So kind of share a little bit about yourself and then maybe some things that you would give advice to others on. I guess that would just kind of all ball into one, but go for it.
Yeah. So mental health has become really important to me. And part of that is because I was terrible at it. And growing up, I was a huge advocate for, again, creating a space for other people, but feeling like I didn't deserve that space for myself. And so I feel like there's multiple avenues. When I first started counseling, especially for my trauma in the past, I would go to these counseling sessions and I felt like I was going for other people. And so I would meet the goals and be a people pleaser and do all of that, but I wasn't really actually getting healing or self-care. It wasn't until I had the right person, who is my person, who really challenged me. I literally went into the counseling office and I was a teenager at the time, and she had told me, she's like, "Who brought you here?" And I was like, "My dad. They're really amazing parents and they just want to make sure that I get the best healing from everything." And she was like, "That's great. Do you drive?" And I was like, "Yep, I do." And she's like, "Okay, you can leave."
Oh my gosh, no way.
Yes, and I was I prided myself as this goody two-shoe people pleaser, and I didn't know what to do in that moment. And she just said, she was like, "When you want to come here, you can only work on yourself for other people for so long.
Wow.
That'll only get you so far. When you want to come here, when you want to drive yourself here, I would love to see you." And you better believe I drove myself there and worked with her, or she worked with me, and she was my person. And so I think there's a couple different aspects of, one, anyone willing to obtain a therapist, mentor, it has to be your person. I think a lot of times people get so fearful to step into those doors because, one, it may be unknown and scary. And two, they feel like it's kind of, they're locked in once they sit down. And so just encouragement for everyone who's interested in therapy or counseling of, you need to have your person. And an amazing therapist will sit with you and tell you, if I am not your person, please tell me and let's find your person, because that's the point. So I think part of it was finding my people. And I always talk about, who's on your tool belt. So especially as a mom now, I really had to look at that for myself, because I did not practice what I preached to anybody about self-care. And so I had to look at, who's on my tool belt. Do I have someone who I can go for emotional support, where I can be, quote unquote, what I feel is weak, but was really strength within my vulnerability and come as I am. Do I have individuals that I know can be, for me, what I need is spiritual encouragement? Do I have a doctor? Do I have a gynecologist? Do I have a therapist? There's so many people that we all can have on our team that a lot of people don't realize are vital. So one would be, have your tool belt. Try your best to create a team around you. And then for me as a mother, it's learning that mental health hours, mental health days And even what I had to get used to is mental health minutes. So many times where I don't have a day, and maybe I do, but I can't. I can't take a day. I know that about myself. But you know what? I can take 10 minutes every single day, and I call it my like mommy timeout. And
that's awesome.
Have a moment, whether it's a bath, whether it's reading, whether it's just going to Target. Hey, babe, I'm going to go to Target for 30 minutes and have my mental health minutes. And I realize that you have to do it for you. And yes, it helps others, because you truly cannot pour into other people fully if you are not taking care of yourself. Because if you're pouring into others and not taking care of yourself, what are you pouring out? You're pouring out an empty bucket, which is just poison. And it's not sustainable at all.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm rambling.
No, that's so good. Aubrey, anything you want to add to that? Or
no, I just thank you for sharing all of that. It's pretty cool that this month we're focusing on mental health, because I feel like through like just thinking more about it, and even through like things that Danny shared when we interviewed her and things that you just shared, I feel like I'm very convicted in a good way, because I feel like I'm not very good at self-care or taking time to make sure that I'm in a good place so that I can pour out well as a mom, as a friend, as a wife. So thank you for sharing all of that. It's like really encouraging to me.
I appreciate us moms. We got to stick together, man. And moms can be the most wonderful resource, and they can be the most discouraging resource.
Yeah, totally.
And so I think it's incredible to be able to encourage other moms that like we have to take time for. It's not selfish. Taking time, self-care is not selfish. And I'll be like, I will scream like not selfish, because just what you said, Aubrey, is when you take care of yourself, that is when you truly are able to sufficiently take care of others.
Yeah.
And it's such a beautiful thing when you can realize that, because it takes away that mom guilt, that mom should not be there. That's a lie.
It's really good.
Yeah.
That's a good point too. I hadn't thought about that, right? When you're taking care of yourself and you're more present than for whoever is in your care, you don't have that guilt come up as much. I've experienced that for sure. And then when I start to slide, it's like, oh, I'm feeling this shame again. Let's check in. And oh, it's because I need some time alone. So that's a good point. I like that. Yeah, that's really good.
Accountability. Like, again, that tool belt. If I do that as well, Bree. So it's having
totally.
You know, where I live right now, especially we moved when we found out we were pregnant. So we moved across states to be able to be near family while I was finishing my master's. And one of the things that we kind of had to give up through that was community. And I didn't realize how imperative community was until I didn't have it. And self-care is just as important, but alongside that coincides is community. It is
good.
Everything. And so I've had to find very creative ways as a mom to be able to have community, which has been, I mean, I have my mommy group on Facebook that was from when I got pregnant with my son, and we still talk every day. I have my girlfriends that we have a group text, and we're all in different places, and we are each other's accountability. And it's our place where we can literally say whatever we need to and be met with encouragement and love and grace, which is awesome. So I encourage all of you guys to, yes, of course, check in with yourself and your heart. That awareness is incredible to have. I think it's amazing, Brie, that you're able to do that, because it's so hard at times to get there. But to have other people.
That's really good.
Then you're sitting in silence, and silence where negativity breeds, and then you're just in your mind.
That's so good. Yes, having people that can call you out too, like, hey, something seems off or whatever. Yeah, that's such a good point. Love that.
Yeah, that's really important for sure.
Well, my next question was going to be, what's a piece of advice you'd give to a mom who thinks they might be struggling with their mental health? But I think you offered a lot as far as advice goes. But yeah.
If it's okay.
Yes, please.
Just one aspect, since it's a mommy group and mental health, is that a lot of, and this is something I'm really passionate about because I'm getting certified in it, and I didn't realize how passionate I was about perinatal mental health until I went through my journey of pregnancy and postpartum, is that there are a lot of perinatal disorders, which are basically pregnancy and postpartum mental health concerns that are not the mom's fault at all,
Mm-hmm.
but that individuals don't know about. And it's, I think that postpartum healing and postpartum mental health are not talked about enough at all.
Yeah.
Girls, we need to be talking about how to be able to care for all of our lady parts.
Yes.
As well as whether it's adoption or surrogacy or natural birth, C-section. I mean, all of those things, postpartum depression, postpartum anxiety.
Mm-hmm.
Within postpartum anxiety, there's postpartum OCD, there's postpartum psychosis, there's DMER, which is the dysphoric milk ejection reflex, when individuals have their milk coming in and they feel this intense feeling of hopelessness. And so just bringing up the fact that there are so many aspects of postpartum mental health that aren't discussed. And if for anyone who is experiencing severe anxiety, anxiousness, panic attacks, severe OCD, having these random intrusive thoughts of feeling like you're going to hurt yourself or more so hurt your child, even though you know you never would, those thoughts and pictures coming up in your mind, or psychosis, feeling like you're having psychotic episodes that are obviously very unlike you. It's not you. I like to differentiate it. It's another aspect that has come up due to so much chemical and hormonal imbalances, and it's vital to be able to address those things and get help because you deserve it as a mom.
That's really
Wow.
good.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, totally. That's so good. And actually, I was going to ask, just because I know, Aubrey, you've got 3 kiddos, especially with like a foster mom or adoptive mom. Like, are those things that still can come up?
Oh, yeah. I think that just like being a parent to any child that's come from trauma,
Oh, yeah.
the kids themselves have been through a lot, and a lot of the times can have a lot of issues. And I feel like that plays into just the family dynamic as a whole.
Mm-hmm.
So even now, I'm anticipating that there will be different seasons that our family probably goes to counseling, whether that's together or individually, just to work through different things. But yeah, I think even within parenting, like, there's for sure, struggles in parenting kids that have come from trauma, where a lot of foster and adoptive moms can relate to that.
That's good.
And yeah, I mean, I know that I'm guilty of having days and moments that I'm like, man, I can't believe that I lashed out in that way or responded in that way, or, so it's like, we all need help.
Yeah, that's so good.
We all need to make sure, like Kaylie's been saying, like that we're taking care of ourselves, so that we can be the best mamas to our kiddos.
That's so good.
Yeah, and you're so right. Think about it. There's so many individuals who their milk starts to come in when they hear another baby cry. Like it's just about the nurturing aspect within our hearts. Our bodies and minds and hearts were just formed so intricately and absolutely incredibly that it's about being a parent, and it's not about how you become a parent. No pregnancy test defines you.
Right.
It's the fact that you're a parent and what comes with those mass changes, what comes with any sort of trauma, that anyone, regardless of how they became a parent or any type of caregiver, that can cause a lot of unique changes that deserve attention.
It's good.
Yeah.
It's really good. Awesome. I'm glad we went there then. That's, I think, super important to highlight and talk about.
Yeah.
So.
Thanks for asking. Yeah.
And postpartum rage is another thing as well. So that is a real thing. Moms feel so much. I mean, lashing out, all of that obviously comes alongside too. But some moms experience extreme feelings of rage, and it's a real thing. Like, it's another aspect of mental health that's not talked about. And so again, there's this immense shame and guilt around, severe postpartum depression or postpartum rage because of how, we don't understand how to adequately project it because no one talks about it.
Yeah.
But it's very normal.
Yeah. It's so funny as you're talking. I'm like, wow, I think I had more than I thought I did.
Right?
Hindsight, I'm like, well, this is so good, right? Like, hopefully going back into it one day, like, this is so good. And I think just it would be awesome to have a place. Like, what would you suggest as far as resources? So where can people go and look right now? Like if they have no idea where to look, what would you suggest for mamas to reach out, or groups to join, or what,
Well, if anyone's interested in learning about more so perinatal and postpartum mental health aspects, disorders, PSI, which is Postpartum International, that's where I'm doing the certification.
Okay.
They have a ton of resources online.
Awesome.
So you can even just Google Postpartum International.
Okay.
There's a mass amount. There's what's it called? I'm looking at the UNC School of Medicine, and they have a Center for Women's Mood Disorders in their Department of Psychiatry.
Oh, wow.
And so if you look that up, I think it's like med.unc.edu.
Okay.
Gives some more intricate details of what each disorder entails, which is super helpful because it differentiates a lot of the different aspects of it. And then for just aid in general, doulas. That's another aspect. I loved my doula personally for birth, and I just felt like she was my person, and that was great. But one of my true desires is to one day be a certified doula in postpartum.
Wow.
And so they have
That's super cool.
Yeah, they have postpartum doulas, or they have
gosh.
full spectrum doulas that are in all cities, all states, all countries, that you can look up online and find someone to be your person that, if you want, can be a part of the pregnancy and birth aspect as well. But there are postpartum doulas who are there for checking in postpartum, because there's so many, you just talked about it, Aubrey, too, intricate aspects of becoming a parent, whether it's feeling like, well, I'm not able to breastfeed, all those aspects that come with it of feeling like you're not, failing as a mother or struggling or things you didn't know. They're there to give you, to normalize, and give you adequate resources of people who can help in all aspects. There's even doulas that can specialize in adoption.
Wow.
To obtain therapists who purely work with blended families, because I want to talk about that too, with adoption, with international adoption, with making it all inclusive, especially families who have who have children who have different medical struggles. That's an aspect that comes with a lot of intricate work as well, and because all families deserve to have that support.
Yeah.
And alongside that, again, I feel like I had potentially a rare experience, but I love my mommy group.
Yes.
Like on Facebook, not all groups are very friendly, and I know that. But if you can find the right ones, I know there's like Joyful Motherhood, which has been, people have been really positive on there. But finding a mommy group that is very supportive and very encouraging. Those would be your key words: supportive and encouraging, because you don't want, again, anyone to be breathing in negativity into your negativity. I talk fast when I'm excited.
No, I love it. That's why I love talking with you. It's so fun. You just have so much good stuff to share. So I love it. Thank you. Okay, so how have you felt your value for mental health influence your parenting so far?
My view and love for mental health, I think, has really helped me have a lot of grace for myself. I have come to learn that, and this is a personal opinion, not just it's professional, personal opinion, is that I feel that some of the best teaching that you get to do with your children is through yourself. And so, it's weird. I'm excited for the day that I get to ask my kids to forgive me.
Yes.
I'm excited.
I've been there.
Yeah.
To be able to talk to them and say, hey, I feel like mommy handled that really well, or I feel like mommy did not handle that very well, and mommy had some big emotion, which is okay. Mommy, we're allowed to have big emotion, but let's think of some ways that maybe we could have shared that emotion in a healthier way that wouldn't hurt either of us.
Wow.
So I'm really excited for those aspects, and I think being passionate about mental health has made me less fearful. Which I was in a lot of fear when I was first pregnant, especially not thinking I could have kids, I lived my first pregnancy in fear. And I swore to myself that I wouldn't do that this time, because I was so scared of losing him. And I think that just kind of was brought over when he came, of just being so scared of any thoughts that I was having or any depression signs. And just, you know, I was telling myself, well, that's bad. And then luckily I had my, you know, teachers in the back of my head being like, no, that's normal. It's not okay to do it alone, but it's completely normal and a part of the process, and to obtain help. So it's given me a lot of grace, and it's given me a lot of hope within motherhood. And there's no perfect way to parent. There's just not.
Yeah. No book can give you the exact rules for your specific kid. Yeah, that's
even with however many kids we have. We parent differently.
That's good.
We're all different.
Yep. Yeah. It's one of the most frustrating things for me, but you know, I'm coming to enjoy that part too. I'm like, just give me the rule book, tell me what I need to do, and I can do it, right? It'd be so much easier that way. I know, but then I wouldn't grow, right? Because my kid is made to push all my buttons.
And watching other, you think, maybe I should parent like that, or maybe and you would take other parents' advice as like gold, without realizing that, one, we don't know it perfectly, that is how it is. We also don't know what happens behind closed doors, and that's your personal child. Yeah, and the comparison game is dangerous.
Totally. Oh, man, I know we could go on for a long time with this subject, and maybe we can revisit it again someday. But for the last question, which I have loved to ask, what is the legacy you want to leave for your children?
You know, I think for me, it's what I was trying to learn as a child was I pray that my kids create a space for others, no matter where anyone comes from, in, you know, background, history, anything, to be able to come as they are and to be met where they're at, to not always try to fix, but be able to just sit in the well with whoever, if that's what they need. And alongside that, I pray that my children can also be very lovingly assertive. And I mean that in a very positive way of being able to have really healthy boundaries, to be able to teach themselves and teach others how to treat them, so that they're not, that no child is, you know, taken advantage of.
That's so good.
Yeah, that's really good.
Anything else you want to ask, Aubrey?
No, I think that was like a great way to summarize the legacy you want to leave, and just sharing that, I feel like goes along just with a lot of the other things you shared. And I'm so excited for you to have this new addition coming soon to your little family. I already love watching you guys. So it'll be cool to just continue to see how you parent and just to continue learning from you.
I watch you guys all the time, probably. I feel like it seems so creepy, but
I know, right?
It's a real thing to watch in their lives. And I'm excited for the day my children go to therapy, because you know what? I'm sure they will.
Yep. Amen.
Oh, so good. Well, Kaylie, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule to talk with us. I'm so excited to share this. Thank you.
Thank you so much for listening. Be sure to check out all of the goodness from today's episode on the show notes, and share this with a friend if it impacted you in any way. You can also leave a review on iTunes so other mamas can join in the movement of loving the woman inside the mother. Join our online Mommispace community every day by following us on Instagram at Mommispace, that's MOMMI space, where you can interact with me, some of our past guests, ask simple or hard questions, and give your valuable input on how to make Mommispace an even more beautiful, safe place for mamas all over the world. All my love to you, mama. You are enough.